Princess Margaret can look back on an exhilarating and at times extremely strenuous 5 weeks tour of East Africa, a tour which has been a personal triumph for her and which has taken her thousands of miles by land, sea and air. In the lovely Royal Yacht Britannia, her first call was at Mauritius, some 1,500 miles out in the Indian Ocean. With its strange, haphazardly shaped volcanic hills, its vast sugar plantations and its lovely coral strands, it provided an exotic welcome for the princess, la princesse, as everyone in this French-speaking British colony called her. More than 100,000 of all races crowded into Port Louis, the capital, to greet her. And several times during her 3-day tour, the royal car was held up by excited crowds, during which she visited schools and hospitals and saw something of the great sugar industry on which the economy of Mauritius so much depends. It was the first royal visit to Mauritius for nearly 30 years. Her father and mother, when they were Duke and Duchess of York, went there in 1927. And when Princess Margaret left, she had, as one distinguished old Indian said to me, captured all hearts and shown that Mauritius, though remote, was not forgotten. After a restful 3-day cruise in the Britannia westwards across the warm blue waters of the Indian Ocean, Princess Margaret arrived in the ancient island of Zanzibar, the island of cloves and coconut palms, ruled over by the benign 77-year-old Sultan Syed Sir Khalifa bin Harub, a man who's deeply beloved and respected by all of his 500,000 Muslim subjects. Some even waded out into the sea to greet the princess. Thousands of veiled women trilled their traditional welcome. There were those I noticed who poured perfume on the way where the princess passed. Princess Margaret was entertained by Purdah women from both Zanzibar and the neighbouring island of Pemba, which go to make up this British protectorate, and rich gifts were showered upon her. She spoke with old women who'd been rescued from the slave dhows by the Royal Navy many years ago, and she attended divine service in the Anglican cathedral built on the site of the old slave market. To round off a wonderful welcome, the Sultan presented her with the Order of the Brilliant Star of Zanzibar First Class, an order which she wore at a magnificent banquet in the Sultan's palace, a scene straight from the Arabian Nights, with the sword dancers twirling their flashing blades and singing and swaying as she watched from the balcony above. Zanzibar, with all its colourful people, gave her an unforgettable welcome. From Zanzibar, the Britannia brought the princess to the East African mainland, to Dar es Salaam, the capital of the Trust Territory of Tanganyika. Here she said goodbye to the royal yacht and embarked on a strenuous 11-day tour of this vast and varied country. Her first act was formally to open the new deep water berths, which now bear her name, and which, serving the Belgian Congo as well as British East Africa, will double the port capacity of Dar es Salaam. Then, on a flying safari up country, she saw something of primitive Africa, with the Maasai tribesmen dancing their fantastic snake and monkey dances. She had heartening words too for the British administrators who lead their lonely and responsible lives out in the bush, and saw something too of the modern advancements being made. The great diamond mines and the extensive sisal plantations, the housing estates and hospitals, all enterprises in which Africans, Asians and Europeans are cooperating with an encouraging goodwill. The governor of Tanganyika, Sir Edward Twining, expressed, I think, everyone's feelings when he said quite simply, when the princess left Tanganyika for Kenya, "We shall all miss you very much." Here in Kenya, there was some concern for the princess's health shortly after her arrival, and for a few hours it seemed as though much of her remaining program might have to be abandoned. Princess Margaret, however, made a gallantly quick recovery and fulfilled almost all her heavy engagements. They included looking at railway workshops, seeing the important Royal Agricultural Show, attending barazas or tribal gatherings, visiting Africans and Asians and Europeans in their homes, as well as getting to know some of the young farmers who've settled from Britain here since the war. In addition, she formally opened the magnificent Royal Technical College here in Nairobi, which will give instruction in time to well over 2,000 students of all races. And as a break from her official duties, she was able to spend a day and a night in one of Kenya's most renowned game reserves, with lion, zebra, rhinoceros and giraffe padding past the simple game warden's lodge where she camped for the night. Now that the whole royal tour is over, and following it as I've done, I would say that its effect has been immeasurably for the good. It has enhanced, if that were possible, by a charming personal presence, the prestige of the British Crown in these remote parts. It has brought together and encouraged people of all races grappling with baffling problems, not least that of dealing with the remnants of the Mau Mau. And it has shown what a splendid personal ambassadress for Britain Princess Margaret is. As one African said to me, deep in Tanganyika, summing it all up, "We have seen the princess, and now we know her."